Kashyap Kompella is an award-winning industry analyst, best-selling author, and AI advisor. So much that he's even wearing Meta Ray-Ban glasses. We just completed a 2.5-hour workshop on AI. He's also been nominated for the Ramnath Goenka Award, an award for excellence in journalism. Welcome to the 12th annual COFP retreat, Kashyap, and thank you for being here. We've really learnt a lot from your session today. I'm Dilshad Bilamoria from Dilsa Consultants Private Limited, and I'm here to interview Kashyap. I promise these questions are not AI-based. Okay, so let's get started. Tell us about your journey and how it all began.
Thank you, Dilshad, and thanks to the COFP team for having me. So I have about 25 years of experience in technology, consulting, and services. So more recently, I have been teaching, writing, and thinking about AI. And I'm a visiting faculty at a few places in India and abroad. So I primarily teach AI to non-technical people because AI is such an interesting force in practically everything in our personal lives, in our professional lives, and across societies and countries. So thanks again.
Wow, that's great to hear. And so other than AI, Kashyap, what could be the biggest threat that you see, in the investment advisory profession as such, and the larger picture, the human race?
Well, that's a tough question, and probably that's best put to Yuval Noah Harari. But I think from a macro side, increasing geopolitical tension. So we are seeing like a retreat from globalization, so to speak. So the world order that was there for the last 30 years, I think we are seeing that being redrawn. So that ripple effects will be felt in different parts of the economy, different parts of diplomacy, different parts of immigration, etc. So maybe the world may be getting rewired, not just by technology, but also by all of these different structural forces. So that will have, again, downstream effects in terms of the money and investments people will make, and that will impact the financial advisory profession as well. But these effects won't be like sudden, as they say, right? There are decades when nothing happens, and there are days and weeks in which decades happens. I think we may be actually living through one of those epoch or era-defining times at this point in time. Yeah. There is a lot of confluence of different factors that are coming together.
No, I think rightly said, we saw COVID and it's truly a VUCA world for us, yeah. You've had the best in academics, you've traveled the world, you've advised on startups, and even learned the AI game. So anything that is unfulfilled that you still want to pursue? I
think I should teach more. So far, I've sort of been helping companies and CEOs and C-suite people take advantage of transformative technologies, etc. But we're right now in a phase where AI has escaped the labs. AI is out there in the real world, and its impacts are going to be felt by practically everybody, whether young or old, rich or poor. So I think this AI literacy, that is going to be an important, as important as the previous 3 R's. We said it was required to be, the 3 R's previously were reading, writing, and arithmetic. Now this knowledge about AI is probably going to be as important. And I want to take this to as many people as possible. I wouldn't say it's an unfulfilled thing, but it's like a mission, journey that is still unfolding and not finished yet.
Excellent. So what are the tools for financial advisors in AI that you feel will, I would say, enable our profession?
Yeah. Excellent question, and I think it's a very important question, the million-dollar question, so to speak. So if you were to take a step back, financial planners and advisors are, tip of the spear when it comes to knowledge work. Because like I said, AI is like one transformative force. It's having an important effect. But at the same time, the work that financial advisors do is very important because you're securing people's futures, financial futures and security. And we talked about how there is a lot of change effort. So in these times, the work of the financial advisors becomes even more important. So I have seen like 3 previous waves of AI, but what is different about this wave of AI is that it is going to impact a lot more people. It is so much more democratized. The previous waves of AI, the technology was limited to technologists and people, technical people and specialists. But this time, everybody has access to the same tools, more or less. So the financial advisors specifically, they can use AI in so many ways. They can use it as their teacher, they can use AI as their research assistant, they can use AI as their paraplanner, they can use AI as their media planner and their business development planner as well assistant. So there are different ways that AI can help financial planners, and there is a wide spectrum of tools. If you're a very sophisticated financial planner, there is a certain set of tools for you. If you are an independent financial advisor, a one person, mom and pop business, you still have tools. So there is a wide spectrum of innovation that is packaged as AI tools. So you'll see like all-rounder AI assistants, you'll see AI productivity assistants, you'll see AI creativity tools, you'll see research assistants. So while there are so many tools, choice is not necessarily a good thing because there can be analysis paralysis.
Correct.
So if I were to say, I would say for financial advisors, if you're new to AI, start with learning the best practices of prompting. Start with the tools that you're already using, like ChatGPT or a Gemini or one of these tools, and play around with this. This is the kind of tools where you can read as much as you can, but you wouldn't get any expertise or experience out of it unless you actually try them hands-on.
So in the workshop, you rightly pointed out how you can keep prompting the various tools to kind of sharpen and tailor the outcome to the requirement that you're looking for. It could be right from creating an image or creating a investment advice for a person, or it could even be drawing out certain guidelines of an investment policy statement. So I think, like you rightly said, the more we kind of play around with it, the better would our learning be as well. Yeah, thanks for that. So you've written 2 books, AI for Lawyers and AI Governance and Regulation. Tell us something more about them.
Yes, excellent. So I authored these books with my collaborator, Professor James Cooper. He is a law professor in California. So broadly what's happening is that AI has a lot of problems. There is a dark side to AI as well. As the wider adoption of AI is there in the society, there are lots of legal disputes that are arising. So it's very, like who's going to adjudicate these disputes? Who's going to adjudicate these cases? So it's imperative for lawyers to understand the technology that is creating so much conflict or frictions in the world. So that's the first book of AI for Lawyers, to bring lawyers up to speed on the conflicts that we're seeing in intellectual property rights law. Generative AI is trained on a lot of existing content. Do those model creators have the rights to use that content? And what are the downstream effects of that outputs that are generated? So there are a lot of issues. So artists have sued the creators of these tools, publishers have sued. So there are active some 30-40 disputes that are happening in the world just related to generative AI. Then there are issues of consumer law and tort. These are probably a little too niche, so we won't go into that. But issues of liability, product liability. Increasingly, AI products are all everywhere. So if harm is caused due to those AI products, where does liability fall? So certain existing legal doctrines are also having to adjust. So that's a broad scope. We survey about 20 to 25 areas of law, practices of law, and what is the impact that AI is having on this practice of law. That's AI for Lawyers. So now in response to this, the governments, the regulators, the industry, the companies, the industry bodies, etc., everybody has to respond. So how do you govern this powerful technology? So everybody compares AI to a fire, like as powerful as a fire or electricity, but these have to be tamed. So there have to be guardrails. So that's the topic of our book, AI Governance and Regulation. What should be the right response to it? So it's like if AI regulation is tough, it's easy to say if there is a harm that is caused because of AI, regulate it, ban it. That's the general knee-jerk response, because you don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. You want to regulate in such a way that you take advantage of the powerful potential of AI, but also manage the downside. So that's what we are addressing in
So interestingly, who is responsible when IPRs or confidentiality kind of breaches happen in these cases?
So that's a tricky area because there are a lot of doctrines out there. So for example, you can scrape web content. That's, I mean, fairly settled law. But can you scrape web content to train AI models? So there is a legal answer to it, and there is a moral answer to it. If an artist's work has been used to create, say, an image generation, you talked about AI image generation. So we generate images in the style of a particular artist. So instead of work going to that artist, the hard work has been put by the artist, but the upside is being captured by the technology companies. So what is that morality involved out there? Similarly for copyrights. So like I said, these are new routes, but this is nothing new because each new wave of technology brings forth its own issues. We had the similar issues with respect to digital copyrights, etc. When the internet first worked. So each wave of technology, cameras had this technology, music recording equipment had this same issues. So we will resolve. I mean, technology leads, regulation catches up. And each country is deciding these in a different way. For example, in Japan, copyrights have been waived. I'm like oversimplifying a bit, but copyrights have been waived in favor of AI creators. It's not the same in Europe. US is like slightly more laissez-faire. So depending on what a country's legal system is, countries come up with different jurisdictions. So much so, for example, when OpenAI today releases a model, they release it in the US, but they don't release it in Europe because of the laws. So it's not just like the interesting dynamics are playing. But it's a very exciting area, technology regulation, AI regulation these days.
Okay. So we are all financial advisors. Can AI replace financial advisors?
No. The short answer is no, because I mean, it's a very high stakes game. Financial advisory is very high stakes for the clients. So whenever there are high stakes, usually you tend to stick with a human. But replacement for financial advisors or for any other knowledge professions probably is a wrong framing. What is going to happen? What is going to happen is you have all of these new and improved or latest and greatest cool technologies, innovative technologies, which can benefit in so many ways. So I'm sure like financial advisors are a very harried lot. You're always fighting fires, or you're spending more time than you would like to on routine, mundane administrative tasks. If some technology freed up that time for you, you could actually spend that time in building better client relationships, in coming up with most well-suited portfolios or asset allocation plans, financial plans for them. So the best way to look at it is, here is an opportunity to do more value-add work for your clients. But ultimately, it's sort of a Darwinian evolution. Technology is going to march forward. So advisors who become savvy with technology, nobody is asking you to become programmers, but if you pick up those AI literacy that I talked about, that will also help you serve your clients better. Because look at it, the clients themselves have these expectations that the advisors are tech savvy. I'll take you an example from the law field where I'm looking at right now. So in the US, the American Bar Association, which is the equivalent of our Indian Bar Association or the Indian Bar Council, they say that lawyers have a duty of technology competence. There is a lawyer's duty of competence as part of their professional code. And a part of that competence is actually being savvy in the latest technologies, keeping aware and updated themselves about what is the technology. And more broadly, this need to be updated with the latest technologies is for everybody. It's for all of us, whichever profession you are in.
That's right, yeah. So I think like you rightly said, it should be an enabler to our work, because the most important aspect of being a sounding board and having client conversations that are benefiting them is only what a human can do at the end of the day. Right. So, and what would be the impact of AI on various professions?
Correct. So that's a great question. I think about it a lot. So in the previous waves of AI, the conventional wisdom was that AI is going to automate factory floors. AI is going to automate blue-collar jobs. But now with the new wave of AI technologies that we're seeing, that is reversed. So I have a new thing which says AI is collar blind. Whether you're a white-collar job or a blue-collar job, it is going to significantly impact your job in some way. I'm not saying that there is going to be a jobs apocalypse, but the job description of that is going to change. So what is interesting to me when I look at this data, globally, if you add up the learning and development budgets of all organizations, right, like the money they're spending in training their employees, that comes to about $400 billion across the world per year. So the amount of investments that are going into AI to create all of these new AI assistance models, guess how much that is? That's $600 billion. So at this stage of humanity's evolution, we are spending more time making machines and software and programs better than actually humans. That's quite fascinating to think about, that we're actually spending more on training AI rather than training humans.
Interesting. Okay. And what's the next big thing outside of AI? Have you even thought of robots and, I mean, beyond the normal things? So any views on that?
I think I wouldn't call it the next big thing, but the next worrisome thing is really climate change and sustainability. Because we are not innovating enough in those critical areas. Sure, we're definitely seeing innovation, say, in renewable energies. We're seeing innovation in solar, wind energy, etc. Costs have come down and they become economically viable now. But other than outside of that, we are not adapting to climate change. And unfortunately, AI or climate change, it is going to be affecting the most vulnerable, the economically not so well off people who cannot adapt. And there are no easy answers to this. Is this a wicked problem? It is like a systemic level change. So that's something.
Yeah, I think it has to happen at the World Council for it to be taken seriously as well, which was not taken up as one of the important.
Correct. It's becoming a zero-sum game, and there are. So I was the co-chair for IEEE, which is like a very large, the largest body of engineers in the world. So the co-chair for their Planet 2030 group, which is like a group of about 200 experts from across the world from different streams. So I was co-chair of that regulation and policy committee. So there we see that there are issues. The West has progressed by consuming so much more of the Earth's resources. Now if the global South does the same thing, the argument is that there isn't enough resources left on the planet, because the planet will burn whether emissions are in this part or in this part. So that's a tricky thing. But the global South, again, it's not fair. Like politicians and leaders in the global South countries, their job is to make sure that the people are well fed, people are coming above. So one of the biggest achievements for humanity in the last few years, last few decades, has been lifting of billions of people out of extreme poverty. So in India, we've lifted like probably 200-300 million people out of poverty in the last 2 decades. Yeah. And in China, a similar number, maybe slightly more number, 600 million people have been lifted. But at the same time, the emissions are going up because people consume more. So that's like, I think, a problem as a humanity, because you asked what's the big thing for human race. That's something
absolutely, yeah.
We need to figure out.
You are a For Humanity certified AI auditor. Tell us more about this.
Oh, excellent. This is a great question. And thank you for asking that question. So in the financial services space, there is, for the last 100 years, if you're a publicly limited company, you needed to have your financials audited by an independent auditor. So this was a law that the US Securities Commission made 100 years ago, roughly. So now, that is because the financial statements, people are making decisions based off that. That's a very high stakes decision, so it needs to be at a particular standard, things like that. So now, if you see, AI is everywhere. We don't think of it that way, but the news you consume, the music you listen to, the content, the movies that you watch, what you shop, even who hires you, who you marry, so many of these things are being mediated by algorithms, right? I mean, like dating apps to recommendation algorithms to shopping algorithms, etc. So now when so much of, I mean, this is practically the case in all Western countries, but in India, to a large extent, we don't have that level of technology adoption as yet to say that's the universal case, but the top 10-20% of India, this is still a reality. So algorithms are deciding so much on our behalf.
Yeah.
So somebody has to audit those algorithms and AI systems. So we talked about like what jobs AI is going to impact, etc. But this is a good story. AI governance is going to create a lot more new jobs. AI auditor is one of them. Somebody actually looking at the job, behind the code, whether they're using the right data or are they putting bias into the algorithms knowingly or unknowingly. So these are aspects that an AI auditor and they sort of certify. There is organic food. Somebody certifies this is an organic food, verifies that thing. There is like fairly grown crops and fairly made shoes, and somebody is certifying that that's a thing. So this is the same thing as AI auditors are responsible to an extent to say that there is ethical AI inside. So we come and stamp saying, okay, this is responsible AI. So that's AI auditors. So if somebody is interested in this field, it's a new opportunity that is coming up. If you're interested in governance, risk management, legal side of things, AI auditors, you should check that out.
Okay, you posted a selfie with Elon Musk. Wow. So tell us about this.
No, yeah, I think that this happened by chance. So I was at an investment summit which the US government was doing to attract, so President Trump was in attendance, inviting investors from across the world to invest into the US because he's going to cut regulation, make economic growth a priority in US, etc. So at that point in time, Trump and Musk have fallen out now. They're no longer BFFs, but at that point in time, Trump was, wherever Trump was, Musk was also his advisor and he was hanging out. So at that point in time, this was the time again. I mean, my specialty is not global politics or economics. My specialty is AI. This was the time when Musk's company, Musk runs an AI company, XAI, they have released a new model called Grok 3.
Okay.
So and incidentally, they released the model of Grok 4 just this week, just yesterday. And it's creating a lot of controversy. But Grok 3 was a good model. They started only like a year ago, but they caught up with some of the leading models in the world. If you see, like in my presentation today, Grok is one of the AI assistants I mentioned. So we discussed about Grok. So incidentally, a journalist at that time had called me and said, what do you think of Grok? So I had already thought about Grok and how does it compare with the other things. So this is a conversation that we had with us.
So what do you think about it?
So actually, Grok 4 is very problematic. This is the latest model that was released yesterday. So what I thought of Grok 3 then didn't matter. So actually, a few countries are actually suing XAI because of Grok 4 because it went full Hitler mode. So it's interesting dynamics. Again, it goes back to the importance of AI governance and the guardrails and AI audits that we talked about.
Which is so important.
But what's surprising about meeting Musk is that he's a very tall guy. I didn't expect that he was going to be so tall. Okay,
okay. Besides other things that you were also about him. Okay. So let's move to the rapid fire round. So here I'm just going to ask you a couple of kind of different questions, and what comes to your mind immediately would be great. Yeah. So Thai food or Indian food?
Oh, Indian food, that too South Indian food. My mom makes the best peseratus, if you know what that is.
Okay, great. So please invite us.
Of course.
Okay. Which asset class do you prefer the most? Equity, debt, real estate?
Bitcoin.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. So favorite book?
Oh, there is a fantastic book called 404 Girl Not Found, incidentally written by my daughter. Just got released last week. So my daughter has, this is a fourth book. She is in grade 9 right now and 14 years old.
Wow.
So during the COVID lockdowns, she sat down. I mean, we couldn't keep her occupied. She couldn't go down, etc. Locked in the four walls of the room. She started writing, and she somehow seemed to have a knack for writing. So she created a series of 3 books which became bestsellers in India and the US.
Wow.
But after school reopened, she started her usual, I mean, normal, whatever the school children do, friends and stuff like that. But this summer she wrote a book, and it's of course, I joke that it has won the parental Pulitzer Prize. It's a fantastic book, and I think I couldn't write as well as she did.
Wow.
But again, unfortunately, I know this is a rapid fire round, but this is my parental pride talking. So unfortunately, AI is going to affect writers, creative writers, Writers are already not paid a lot, and AI is going to have impact. I wish she could go into a future where writers could be more prized.
Like father, like daughter. Okay.
She says she has more bestsellers than I do.
All right. So are you a morning person or an evening person?
Oh, definitely a morning person.
Okay, great. Okay. Do you have a financial advisor, or do you use AI to manage your portfolio?
We have a fantastic financial advisor who is a great personal friend, and we have been with him for the last 20 years or so.
Excellent. So that just proves your point that I think AI cannot replace financial advice.
Absolutely. It's the relationships and the trust, and you're confident that they will look out for your best interests.
Excellent.
They understand you well. No AI can understand you as well as.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much, Kashyap. I think this was a fantastic session, and really appreciate you coming to the Council of Financial Planners retreat and helping all of us learn more about AI. Thank you.
It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.